All right, guys, back. I wanted to do a quick video. I know some people had some complaints about the last video being a quick, quote, 26 minutes. I think that, part of this and why I wanted to get into doing these YouTube videos instead is just I don't think that anything is really learned in these short clips that you do on Twitter. I mean, not saying nothing. I just don't think it's a very useful format. And I do think, I said to a friend, when's the last time you actually learned something meaningful in 1 minute or 2 minutes or 30 seconds or reading a tweet? To me, it's basically never. Sometimes those tweets point me to something where I actually learned something, but you really have to actually spend time on something to start to understand it more and have a conversation about it. So I wanted to do something real quick here on quick quote unquote on Cam Newton because he kind of serves as a standard bearer for me with regards to how the position is played. First, I wanted to shout out, obviously Betts for sharing the video. I appreciate him doing that for me. Second, I really wanted to shout out Maddie F. Brown, who shared the video and had some really positive comments about it. Sent me a really nice email. Maddie is such a smart and sophisticated analyst. There's so few people on Twitter who I respect when it comes to football, and Maddie is one of them. He's fantastic, and anything he has to say about the Seahawks or Russ is going to come with way more background and knowledge and depth and intricate assessment of scheme than I'm ever going to have. I don't focus on that stuff as much on the channel because I feel like there's a lot of people with more in-depth knowledge of that stuff. I feel like I have a really good understanding of it and I can analyze it and use it as part of my quarterback stuff so that I know what I'm talking about, but I'm not ever going to go way, way in depth on it just because there are guys like Maddie, guys like Betts, who just do such a better job. So, go to those guys if you want that. So if Maddie has any disagreements with the video or whatever, I'm sure he knows what he's talking about more than I do, but I really appreciate him sharing the video and I really encourage everybody to go on to his YouTube channel, his Twitter, and follow him because he has so many good thoughts on the Seahawks and football in general that are really sophisticated and interesting and nuanced, which I really appreciate and I think adds to the football quote unquote discourse at large. A couple things I wanted to address. There was a criticism of that I didn't give Russ enough credit, and I think that if you want me to pat Russ on the head for everything he does right in a play before I give any criticism, are you a child? Is Russ your child? I don't. Yes, of course, I'm holding him to a high standard. And I am someone, I think, this is absent Marxist Film, the account on Twitter, which is basically a horrible, disgusting, parody of a human being, obviously, where I like to get my jokes off about Russ. I think Russ is a good player and I want to be fair to Russ. There's no sense in just making a 25-minute YouTube channel where I make jokes about him not being able to see over his offensive line and being a moron and all that stuff. I'm very careful about how I criticize quarterback decision making and process and things like that because I think so many times people do it and are completely unfair and don't take all those things into account. But I think I was pretty fair. I think everything I had to say, I've seen plenty of plays of similar style from a guy like Cam Newton where he has a process and doesn't just drop his eyes, isn't sort of scared the soonest sign of interior pressure, understands the coverages at the snap and works through the reads, is able to throw with a guy in his face. I mean, I think that's one thing that you have to take into account with Russ is literally it's just not physically possible of making throws over the middle of the field with guys in his face. It's not going to happen. I mean, I'm sure you can maybe find an example here or there, but it's just a physical limitation. And that's fair criticism. It's not like if someone says, well, Chris Paul, he's too short to finish around the rim, dominate getting to the rim consistently in the same way LeBron James is. No one's like, hey, that's not fair. You shouldn't say that about Chris Paul. It's again, grow up. Height matters. We're not children here. Russ isn't your best friend. Just accept that he has significant limitations from the pocket, and let's move on. The second one that I got, and that's where we get to this video, is Cam Newton. A lot of, this guy, he can't possibly know what he's talking about because he says Cam Newton is great from the pocket. He compared him to Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. And yeah, I'm going to continue to do that because Cam Newton is one of the best pocket passing quarterbacks of all time. The only reason he's not thought of that way is because production and play in football are not actually related. I mean, there is a relationship there, but it's very loosely related. It's especially at the quarterback position. And a very good example of this is like all of the offensive line. There's basically no production metric. You can't play football without an offensive line. So, and you've seen me show plays where the quarterback does everything right and gets nothing out of it. You can imagine a player, I've said this before, and Ben Taylor talks about this. Hypotheticals are very helpful in terms of thinking through how the sport works conceptually, how statistics works conceptually. It's very easy to, in football, imagine a player, and I think Cam Newton sort of accidentally lived this career, who's dominant at everything, or dominant, is an elite player, but only ever plays in terrible situations. And what you can imagine is you start to see plays add up where he's doing a great job, but everything around him is not good enough to support production. So he goes through his career with, mediocre to slightly above average to below average, depending on the season, passing statistics. But that's not his fault. And he is still playing, qualitatively speaking, when you evaluate his process right from the get-go at a very, very high level. Go watch his first game of his career. It's incredible the nuance he's playing with already. Obviously, nowhere near where he is now, because everybody takes time to develop those skills. So much of what we think of with Tom Brady and Drew Brees is like, these guys are so amazing, is they didn't develop those things until they were 30, because they got a chance, to develop in good systems and get the reps. But those are things that a player like Cam Newton, who shows a preternatural ability, from the age of 20, also gets to develop if he gets the reps. And so now you're seeing him at age 31, 32. He's, lightning quick with his reads, incredible footwork in the pocket, been able to throw against pressure because of his physical skills. And I say this again, saying Cam Newton isn't a good pocket passer is like saying LeBron James is bad at basketball. It should be a disqualifying opinion. No one, you shouldn't take anyone seriously who disagrees with that statement. And I'll keep hammering that home. And to me, he is the quintessential example, and that's why I find him so interesting. He's the quintessential example of everything wrong with football analysis and everything wrong with quarterback analysis. So I'm going to run these 3 plays, let you look at them yourself. You can use the YouTube slow down feature. I'm just going to run them. I didn't go searching for the 3 best plays. I was kind of trying to, cleanse my palate, watch a great pocket passer play, because I love watching Cam play for that reason. And I just pulled up the Jets game, and I didn't even remember these plays. I found a 3-play sequence. These are 3 plays right in a row. I didn't pick out special plays. I didn't find the 3 most amazing Cam Newton plays from the year. I just found a 3-play sequence. 1st and 20, 2nd and 20, 3rd and 20. The quarterback here, just watch how sophisticated the play is, the ability to move through the reads in the pocket, the footwork, the understanding of leverages, the ability to fake out defensive linemen, to create throwing lanes, just the dynamic problem solving while working within structure, the arm talent. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than this. This guy is a pocket savant. And I hope that I don't have to take you through this to see how good he is. The quarterback essentially makes 3 first down worthy plays in a row from a 20 to go situation. And yeah, you can say, oh, it's the Jets. Well, Cam Newton's playing what's worse than the Jets in terms of offensive support. So there's really no problem here in terms of mismatched talent between the offense and the defense, other than that one of those sides has Cam Newton on them. So again, watch the plays for yourself, see what an elite pocket quarterback looks like.